Hey guys, so this is a bit of a special interview because my guest is nowhere to be found next to me on my red sofa. And so basically, who am I talking about? It is Madhu Vaishnav, and she is the founder of an NGO in India in the region of Rajasthan. And she's from Jaipur, and she's an amazing woman. She's basically, her journey is just amazing. What she does is basically she's created this NGO in order to support women in her region. Specifically, she's created a project called the Saheli Women's Project. And what that is basically she has set up a stitching studio in the small village of Bhikamkor in Rajasthan. And it's a small village in the middle of the desert, and she basically saw that over there was a real need for women to have their own jobs because mainly families over there live from farming and agriculture. And when the weather is not helpful, basically that just ruins their life because farming and agriculture is the main revenue income source. So if the crops get screwed up, then their whole family basically does not have food to eat. And I'm saying this in a very rough way, but that's really how it is. And so the women culturally there don't actually work. They're not meant to work. Culturally, it's not really accepted for them to work. They're meant to take care of their house and take care of the family, take care of the kids, and all that. But these women, they have skills. And they really want to take their families forward, and they really want to contribute to their families and their community by working and making their own money, and therefore contributing to the family's income. Basically, that's not very well accepted in that particular community. We're talking about a rural community in Rajasthan. And if you've never been there, it's absolutely beautiful. Rajasthan is a beautiful, beautiful region. And so Madhu has created this stitching studio whereby she gives a job to these women who are in need of a job and who want to make some money. And with the help of a master tailor, she's teaching them how to stitch properly. And the way she gives them job is that she then invites independent fashion brands and sustainable fashion brands to come over and basically place their orders through the Saheli Women. Why? Because everything there is handmade. So it's a beautiful, typical craft that they're using at the Saheli Women's studio. And they're also using local fabrics and recycled saris and just recycled fabrics that they have in India. But they also know how to do very beautiful embroideries from India. So these women are trained to do all these things, and sustainable fashion brands then come and use their skills, not only because they have very good skills, but because they're also supporting women in contributing to their own community. Through Saheli Women, women can now have access to better healthcare. They can put their kids through school. No one is starving in their family anymore. The whole pressure is off the shoulder of the man, where previously he felt like he was in charge of the whole thing. Now his wife is supporting him as well. So I think this whole project is absolutely amazing, and I found Madhu through Instagram very randomly, and I contacted her, and she was just so open and she was ready to do this interview. Absolutely, yeah. So it's an amazing project, and I really suggest that you follow them on Instagram. It's called Saheli Women. But you can also follow the NGO, which is called IPHD. So anyways, Madhu has very kindly agreed to basically receive my video questions and answer my questions through her own videos over there in the village. And I had some questions as well for the Saheli women, because I think that's just very inspiring what Madhu does. But it's also very inspiring to see that some women who are coming from very traditional backgrounds have decided that, you know, it was enough now with certain cultural limitations that really made no sense to them. Just because it's not acceptable for them to work, their family is starving and there's conflict in the family because there is no money. So I think sometimes things are very obvious, but because we are stuck in old ways of being and doing and thinking, we really limit ourselves in the progress that we would be able to do otherwise. So inspired by this project, so inspired by Madhu's own personal journey. And there will be a link to the podcast, a podcast interview that I heard with Madhu, which was absolutely amazing, which was all about Madhu's own personal journey. And it's just, wow. If you think you can't do stuff, I mean, Madhu is such an inspiration. You know, she didn't have it as easy as a lot of us have it, but she stood up for what she believed in, and she made it happen. And now she's got this beautiful NGO, people behind her supporting her, donating to her projects. She's putting girls through school. She's, you know, empowering women, but not only, she's also empowering entire families and their future generations. So without further ado, here's the interview.
Right now in the Bhikamkor village, we are working on main three projects. One is a Saheli Woman, which is our benchmark success. And we never thought that this project would become that successful. But it's really like a privilege for entire village and for us that we are very lucky that this project become very, very successful. And the big credit goes to the ladies who put a lot of effort in learning new skills, and so many times they get failed but they did not give up. They will continue building their skill set which meet the western market. And also the credit goes to all the ethical partners who having so much trust on us, and they actually share women's skill set and they producing with us. So definitely these big credit goes to these people for the success of this project. In the Saheli Women project, we are working on a girls' education project, which is another very, very challenging project for us. Here in this village, a lot of girls still not able to complete their school education, and we are trying to build the awareness among the community and with their parents, so then we can get an equal chance for them to go to school. Girls are still kind of deprived from equal treatment compared to the boys in this society. So that's the another one big challenging project we are working on. And today we distribute the school supplies to girls. This year we enrolled 60 girls, and last year we enrolled 80 girls. So we are working towards this goal every day. The another project which is also running here is like a female health. That's another very challenging project, because with this project we are trying to change people's behavior and mindset, which also itself is a very, very big task, because it takes time. It's a slow growth.
Hey Madhu, my first question for you is that I was listening to a podcast, which was an interview of you about your journey, and I found out that when you got married, there was this condition that you would never be able to work, so you would remain a housewife. And I was very surprised to hear that, given how much you have been challenging you know, preconceived ideas and society and your own culture through the work that you've been doing. So I guess my first question for you is actually this one. How did you know that this was your purpose and not one of your tantrums?
It was always dream to become a leader and social worker from the childhood. But as I grew and as I learn all the like the cultural practice for the ladies, definitely that goal was like kind of finished, demolished with all the cultural practice. I also started focusing more on my education and then got married and got children. So that was somewhere deep in my heart, but never able to raise the voice because I knew the limits, that this is my limit and I need to live with these boundaries. But then when I became a teacher, during that time my soul again started saying that I want to go for a more social work and all. So that is the time I asked my husband, and it was again a life turning point for me, that we somehow I got a permission to go and do some little social worker, and then I just started my journey as a social worker.
So I've also learned through hearing about your journey that you were actually being supported by your family along your dreams. So despite having these boundaries around, you working or not working and et cetera, you still put your ideas forward, and your family still was there to support you in the end. And I know a lot of young women, especially young Indian women, who have dreams and want to pursue certain things. Their family is not supportive at all. What would you say to young women out there who have dreams and who are not being supported by their families?
I would say do not give up. Continue raising your voice. Keep asking that. Create a discussion in your family. They need to understand the responsibility. They need to think. A lot of time I always say that it's not that people are bad or people really don't understand. I think it's all about the mentality and mindset. It's so important that instead of labeling and judging them, we need to change their mentality. We need to change their thought process. And in order to do that, we need to discuss in the family. We need to discuss with our children, with our husband, with our father, with our brother, and other ladies also in the family. And when you keep raising the question, they will actually one day will come and they will ask themselves, like, yeah, this is the right question. And then you will find the same family who's creating trouble will become your supporting hand.
So I said I was gonna ask the Saheli women some questions because I'm definitely interested in knowing how life is for them. We live such different lives. So to the Saheli women, what is a typical day at work for you?
सेंटर में आके आपका दिन कैसा रहता है, क्या क्या करते हो आप पूरे दिन में?
बहुत अच्छा रहता है, सब दिन काम कर लो।
It's really good. फोन पे आप बताओ क्या करते हो, सुबह कितने बजे जाते हो, क्या करते हो, कैसे होता है?
जल्दी उठते हैं, बच्चे को स्कूल भेजते हैं, बाद में घर का काम करके फिर आते हैं, फिर इसलिए करते हैं, बहुत अच्छा दिन होता है।
और कभी काम नहीं होता तो फिर कैसा लगता है? यानी
काम तो गाड़ी है, मैडम काम करेंगे, ऐसे भी है उस दिन को यार।
उन्हें आवड़ा जिससे भी आता है थोड़ा मन कमजोर लगता है।
मैंने तो सब दिन घर पर नींद है, नींद घेरा गाली।
Another question that I would like to ask the Saheli women is, was it difficult for you to convince your families to work for Saheli women? And what challenges are women facing in your community?
कितना कौन सा समय है? मैं ना
हमारे 40,000 चेक दियो मैडम को 13 दीजिए ऐसे करते थे,
तो उनको कोई 40,000 तक दिन दूर नहीं है।
खुद होनी उनके मैडम 40,000 चेक दियो संतु क्या करे, हम कहीं क्या करे, मैंने कहा भाई बात भी 20,000 महीने
ज्यादा तो दूर नहीं है।
ये तो हाई क्यों बात करने के मैडम मौका मिल गया
नहीं आवे
क्या आई 2 मिनट पहले आया 40
कहना कि नहीं 40,000
मार वो क्या है, मार पड़ोस में क्या संतु भी देखो बहुत दे और संतु घड़ी कमाते हैं, बेटे खुद घड़ी कमावे, लगता है महीनों के 12 महीनों में 40,000
की नहीं करे,
मार वो की नहीं करे, मार वो
से आदमी को एक सिर्फ सबसे जरूरी अपने पति को हर बात पति को अपना बना के रखो पति भी खुद ही पी रही है Every day is full of challenges. Even when I go to bed, I don't know what would be the next challenge in the morning. And we face the challenge, we try to figure it out solution. Skills development is a challenge. Building anything in the village is a challenge. If something is broken, we fix that piece is a challenge. Like traveling and distance is a big challenge. Our weather is a challenge. We are sitting in the desert, so it's sandstorm, monsoon, it's all like challenge. This is a difficult. Working for the ladies is a big challenge. It's very, very difficult. Not only coming out from the home and learning, but when she started earning money, a lot of men don't like it. They don't like how women can be so empowered and started earning money. They always feel like women should be down. Listen and obey them. I'm not from the business background, and suddenly this project became a benchmark success for us. So it was a challenge for me to learn the whole business model in the non-profit.
Does working for Saheli Women changes anything for you? Did it change the way that people saw you?
Salah kari kaya ada berwarna kaya warna kaya beli jauh dari kene je. Nak berwarna.
अब क्या करें?
अब मैं जेट जेट क्या हम किस लेगा पहला लेगा जोधपुर बस लेगा माउंट आबू हम की अमेरिका लीजा सब भेज देंगे
बड़े नहीं हुई होगा टिकट ये अंग्रेज चक्कर में पड़ गया
they say
First, we took them out for a picnic to Jodhpur. Then we took them out picnic to Mount Abu, which is 2-3 days. Now her brother-in-law saying that this is my challenge, that this woman will take all the women to America and she'll sell them there. And it's that problem for her that it's there's a rumor in the village that they will sell the woman in America.
And I thought it'd be interesting to ask the one man that is actually supporting you in the Saheli project, the Saheli Women project, the Master G, the Master Tailor, who is basically teaching other women the art of tailoring and stitching and all that stuff. So to the Master Tailor, why do you think it's important to support these women?
आगे बढ़ाना लगता है कि इनकी हेल्प करना बहुत जरूरी है ताकि आगे बढ़े अपना घर बार सब कुछ अच्छा कर सके
Bhikamkor आगे बढ़ाना Bhikamkor आगे बढ़ाना
राष्ट्रपति के हमारे भी
For Saheli project, we have a goal that this project should be recognized by the government of India. We want to link more and more ladies in the project. We see the Saheli woman is a home earning source for entire, not only for Bhikamkor but also for nearby villages. We already started getting the inquiry from nearby villages. They really want us to do something there as well. So we are actually looking for arranging a transportation for the ladies who live in a farming community, and we would like to link them with the project. We also looking for a new ethical fashion companies who would like to produce with us. We want women's name to be recognized as an artist in the international world, and not only as a production unit or just workers, because they are really more than that. When a client comes to us, a lot of time we see that they give us a design in the paper, pictures and some little information, but ladies put so much contribution into design, so they are really not only producing but they are also investing their time and skills into clients' design.
And finally, to Madhu, what is a cool girl?
A lot of ladies who are coming here, now their families are very supportive. Like example, there's a lot of other ladies in the village. So they set up a big example. They are cool girls.